I understand that it might be a little bit dramatic to say this is my final $1 XRP warning, but that's exactly what this video is going to be. We need to frame this up and provide the context for why we're here, why the market makers and powers that be are doing this to us, and the opportunity that it presents for our community is one that we're going to be taking advantage of. And I want you guys to at least be able to understand it and determine what the next best move for you is. So let's get you right on into this update. We're getting started here with a bad note. I figured that we'd get the bad out of the way first, which is this data point that Americans are now spending more on taxes than they are on food, clothing, and housing combined. Now, somewhere we went wrong. Our founders are turning over in their grave. But at least I know that you feel great knowing that your taxes are going to a great cause, right? So this is what we're all up against, and it's why myself, people in our community, sophisticated investors, hedge funds, family offices, central banks, and governments are buying more gold than they have ever before. The other thing that's happening is the use of cryptocurrency to provide real use case, solve real problems, drive real utility, and help make some of these assets like gold and silver more liquid. See, I love this combination that we have of being invested in precious metals while also being at the forefront of cryptocurrency, AI in the fourth industrial revolution, and understanding how the two play a role together, not just in society, but in our portfolios. It's working out well, and it's all driven by the fact that we're battling this inflation that's persistent. We have to pay more in taxes than we do on basic necessities. Something's upside down. What makes sense? God's money makes sense, and this is why the Bank of Korea announced it will resume physical gold purchases for the first time in 13 years. Josh Philip Fair, he's the founder and CEO of Scottsdale Mint. Simply speaking, the entire world is looking at the currency situation, the debts of the USD, Euro, Yen, etc. And the biggest central banks are saying, we need to have more gold, but don't be too obvious or panicky about it. The reason why I wanted to start off the episode here talking about this is because it's the exact same setup in crypto. They manipulate it, suppress it, load up all of their positions, and when it's time to set it free, then it runs the space. See, and then they herd the sheep in after they've already aligned themselves. Same thing in crypto. It's the same thing in the AI trade. It's the same thing. The smart money, the institutional investors, they get all of their ducks in a row. They get their bags packed. And while they're doing that, they call crypto a pet rock. They say that, gold is a relic of the past. They have us distracted with 1,000 different things every day. Whether we're on TikTok, Instagram, this happened, Taylor Swift got married, there's a sports event going, I don't know. There's always something, isn't there? Meanwhile, they're loading up. And when it's time to roll, it's time to roll. Gold back up to $4,300 per ounce today. Found great support here at $4,000 per ounce, which is double the previous all-time high. Very strong support and structure on gold. It did not retrace as much as silver did. See, gold held double its previous all-time high up here at $4,000 per ounce. Silver came back down to the previous all-time high, or at least close to it, down to $55 per ounce. But just yesterday, it popped back above 60, went all the way up here to about $63 per ounce, and it's hanging out here at $61 per ounce this morning. So gold and silver back on the move. That's why we positioned ourselves over in the precious metals as a defensive measure. And then when you suppress an asset for that long and then finally let it fly, and then you put some juice behind it, that's when you get a 2025 that gold and silver had, where they outperformed crypto, they outperformed stocks, other than a few outliers, right? Gold and silver stole the show. We position ourselves defensively over there, and then we go on offense, whether we're looking at an AI trade, whether we're looking at cryptocurrency, whether we're looking at private equity. So if you guys haven't heard yet, our sponsor, iTrust Capital, does provide precious metals as well, too. So I have iTrust Capital linked up down below. You can use my link to get a $100 funding bonus. You have to fund your account with $1,000 USD or $1,000 worth of crypto. And we partnered up with that platform because they allow folks to get their retirement funds into digital assets, roll over your 401k to an IRA, but they also have precious metals available for you as well too. And it's straight up, no commission salesman pitching you crappy precious metals products. Straight up business, fair prices, great service, and you can use their custody if you want it, or you can get it shipped directly to you. So use my link down below, get your account funded, and get that $100 funding bonus over there with iTrust Capital. Eleanor Terrett with the scoop here. Thune yesterday. This is Senate Majority Leader John Thune, the guy who I am very displeased with. One of many people in D.C. that I'm very displeased with. He had filed the cloture motion on the college sports bill and then on a continuing resolution and a couple other things. But he did not file cloture, the motion on cloture for the Clarity Act. So what this does is it brings up a vote for us to leave debate. That's what cloture is. And after we leave debate, then we got to vote. And what we've been getting very upset about is the fact that we've allowed this silent cloture to take place, this silent debate. Instead of making the folks that want to oppose Clarity Act, the folks that want to oppose some of the other acts and things that are being done there in Congress right now, specifically the Senate, make them take the floor and hold a debate. And if they really want to hold it, if they really want to, and that's the thing, they don't want to get exposed for not supporting the Clarity Act. They don't want to get exposed for being the banker shills that they are. And that's what this would do if we actually forced them to do it. Senate Majority Leader, who is a Republican. Republicans have control. But you got guys like John Thune. Who's behind this guy? Right? Who's the puppet master directing John Thune? What the heck's going on here? But they filed this motion to proceed on college sports bill, continuing resolution, but nothing on the Clarity Act. Now, Thune does say that he still wants to hold a procedural vote on the Clarity Act. He also filed the cloture motion on Todd Blanche's nomination. Quote, we're sequencing it, but there are some things still out there that we want to do. Adding, we'll see cooperation and interest over the next day or two. So, has to be done today unless we're going to extend recess. What that means is he has to file the motion for cloture today, Thursday, August 6, 2026. He has to file it today so that there's time for there's like a 30-hour window or something like that, and then they, would move to vote to take it out of debate, and then they got to vote again on the bill. It's a joke. But all eyes on Senate Majority Leader Thune in D.C. today. It's the final countdown, and I hope that they don't let them go to recess. They don't deserve any break. They don't deserve any recess. They don't deserve the position that they have, but we got to press them here while we got them. Right? These are the people that we're working with. We have to press them. We have the support. It is completely bipartisan. Forget a D, forget an R. How about America first? Right? Forget a D, forget an R. How about a level playing field? Are you interested in that? If you are, we can be friends. Okay? And that's where we're heading. We're watching this, and it's gonna wrap up here over the next couple days. We'll know one way or another. Bitwise CEO Matt Hougan, he says, it seems crazy that we can't get our act together to pass legislation that would improve investor protections and spark new innovation. But crypto has enough momentum that it will reshape finance for decades, regardless of what happens in the next few days. America is a joke right now in this regard. Outside of this country, every other country is moving forward. So for the international audience, thank you for having your crap together. Thank you for not being an embarrassment like we are here in the United States of America, and in particular, the District of Columbia. Oh boy. On behalf of all of America, we apologize. We apologize here. We're sorry. The good news is that we're moving forward regardless. And we are going to go back into a bull run regardless, which is what brings us here into the final warning, my final $1 XRP warning. Now, real quick before we get there, one last point. The XRP ledger is now connected to Axelar's interoperability network, enabling cross-chain transfers of XRP and supported assets across 80 blockchains without separate bridge infrastructure. So despite this bear market, despite Clarity Act drama, every day we are reporting new developments, new ecosystem growth, new integrations, new partnerships, Ripple making another investment, It has not stopped. Bull run, bear market, the XRP ecosystem is growing. And this sets us up for the rebound from $1 back up to 5, 10, 20, 1,000, 10,000, or wherever we're going to go this bull run. You guys let me know. Are we just going to $10, 20 to 30? What do you guys have for your XRP targets for this bear market? Now, I've been warning you guys. And this is why I said this is my final warning, because I feel like we're right here. I won't need to beat up on this point anymore, because this is it. We're about to retest the dollar again. We are right now this morning. And so I wanted to get out this video just to get out my final warning. So you can't say that I didn't warn you that we were going to sweep below $1 one last time. And I've been talking about how I believe that there's some market makers and players in the crypto game that want to embarrass Ripple, want to embarrass XRP, and they want to make the meme come true that XRP is worth less than Ripple's stablecoin. Everybody gets to make a joke, ha ha ha, and the meme becomes a reality for a brief moment in time. And boy, that's going to mess with retail's mind. A lot of people, the fly-by-night investors, the folks that were here to get rich quick, going back below $1 is going to wipe them out. And what we want to explain here is that this would complete the 75% bear market drawdown that we've been expecting, very typical of the 95%, 96% drawdown that we had in 2018 for XRP, very similar to the 85% drawdown that we had in 2022. And we've already gone down about 72% from 366 down to $1.01. If we go down to the 90-cent region, it's about a 75% drop for XRP. And so that right there is in line with XRP having not as bad of bear markets, right? You know, the law of diminishing returns. We're not going to pump maybe a 60,000% 2017 bull run, right? But XRP still pumped 1,600% between that bear market low to the 2021 high. XRP pumped 1,100% from the 2022 low of 28 cents up to $3.66. That was 1,100%. And so this time around, are we going to do 1,000%, 900%? That takes you from $1 right up to $9 or $10. And then if we only dropped by 75% this bear market versus 85% the last one, 96% the one before that, do you see how this space is maturing? Now we take a look here at the XRP price chart, and an average drawdown during midterm August for XRP is about 14%. So we've been expecting this final move here in August. Clarity Act doesn't pass, some DC drama, right? Maybe the Iran war picks back up. There's a few different reasons. The Japan carry trade, although the Japan carry trade seems to be canceled with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent opening up the Federal Reserve's facility there for providing a backstop for foreign, basically for Japan wanting to sell off U.S. Treasuries. So it seems like the carry trade's kind of been canceled for right now. But my point being, any number of excuses. Iran war, Clarity Act fails, and then you just get a final flush in August here, which is right in line, you know, would be completely normal for us to make one last drop down here in August, and a 14% drop from where we started out the month, which was right here at about $1.04, brings us down to that 90-cent region. So when I compare, you know, historical data on how XRP performs in August of midterm years, it's not good. We have a drawdown every August in midterms. The average drawdown's 14%. That takes us to 90 cents. XRP's dropped 96%, 85%, and if we drop 75% in this bear market, makes sense to me. Now, once again, I'm not saying I'm the oracle and that this is perfect. I don't even pretend to be a TA guy. I call my TA doofus moron TA. The point being, you're exhausted. You have exhausted all of the sellers. You've gotten everybody out. You've liquidated everybody that can be liquidated. There's nobody else to really wipe out here other than just the final blow to retail, the final blow to the average market participant, who is just looking at the price and doesn't understand the fundamentals and why we're here. So I wanted to put out this warning, my final warning of XRP going below $1. I believe that this will be the last time that XRP ever goes below $1. And I'm ready to take advantage of it. I don't know about you guys, but I got my buy orders in. I'm going to be taking advantage of it because it's very clear that with or without the Clarity Act, the whole world is moving without us. With or without the Clarity Act, institutional adoption is happening on the XRP ledger. And by default, inherently, with or without the Clarity Act, XRP will head back into a bull run. And the only thing that we're left debating is, are we going to bounce from $1 to 10 or $1 to 100? That's all that's left to debate. I'll leave it to you guys in the comments down below. Are we going to 10? Are we going to 100? I don't know. Maybe you guys still think that we're going to $1,000 this year. You guys let me know in the comments down below. If you appreciate our content, please help us out by liking, hyping, sharing it out far and wide. I'm going to try to be live tonight. Got a few things happening here today, but I'm going to try to make it back to the live show, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Everything else is at my website, zachrector.com. Another video is right here for you. If you need the subscribe button, it's right there. We'll see you tonight. God bless.